beginning of the year. So like
Mm-hmm.
it's works with or trying to figure out the strategy for the year and how to plan the roadmap. So it's not been that stressful. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I think I understand you well, right? So coming in as a VP or someone in that role, there is obviously a lot of expectations laid out. So you are expected to be there, but there's
Yeah.
still a learning process. Yes, you need to acclimatize with the traditions and rituals of the place before you start bringing that brilliant idea into place. So, yeah, I think I get it. I get it. Sorry about all the stress and all. But yeah, congratulations once again. Thank you. Okay, so welcome guys. For those that are joining, this is the group mentorship session of people in product. Okay, so here we try to address questions and concerns around product management, development, stakeholder management, and getting stakeholder buy-ins. You know, so whatever challenge you have or you're seeking to get clarity, we have the right person today for that. Okay, so leave your questions in the comment, and we're going to call you up to take them. All right. So thank you. We have a couple of questions, Moyo. I think questions we were able to collect. So this is asking, this first question here says, let me put it in the comments so everybody sees it. Okay, so how do you balance the need for immediate results with longer strategic objective, PM? How do you balance the need for immediate results, right? How
Mhm.
do you balance the need for immediate results with long-term strategic objective? I don't know if you understand that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So you need to understand you need to first understand the objectives of the company, the goals that they are trying to reach, right? And then from a product perspective or any other department's perspective, you can then like break down into like how to all the things that you could possibly do and then see how to balance it with let me use smart goals for example, things that are going to be long term, things that you can achieve immediately. You need to understand the bigger picture. That's the first thing. So if I use cabin where I currently work, for example, when launching the vehicle financing calculator that we currently use to help our car agents figure out how to get loans, the immediate result was improving the user experience for them, right? So, however, this feature is like part of the larger plan to create end-to-end seamless financing. So this would involve like partnerships with financial institutions, data integration, a lot of this. So you need to understand like what that particular feature fits into in the entire company, and then you can then prioritize, okay, how you can use like different frameworks, maybe ice rise, whatever, which one works best for you, so that you're not just like focusing your efforts on quick wins, but they're also aligned with like long-term outcomes, right? And then you need to invest in scalable systems. So you know that okay, short-term results would work, but that's just to cut corners, right? So can you hear me?
Yeah, very well, very well.
Okay. Yeah. So you need to invest in scalable solutions. So if I use Move again as example, there we started out from Lagos, right? And but we knew that we are going to go into or maybe some cities in Lagos or expand to other countries like Ghana and the rest. How do we build for this? So when somebody gives you a task, you need to figure out like, oh, where is this problem coming from, and always try to understand the problem. So it's not just that you are doing exactly what people are asking you to do. And then you need to think of how you measure success. Are you measuring success on your KPIs, which are more short term, or are you using like longer term metrics, things like, or short term KPIs in this example would be like maybe feature adoption, while long term ones would be like, oh, customer retention. And if it's customer retention, how does that feed into the organization? Oh, we need 5,000 customers. So us needing 5,000 customers, it's not just we need 5,000 customers for now. You also need to keep those 5,000 customers, or at least 4,000 of them. What are the things that you're going to do in order to be able to get to those 5,000 customers? You need to be able to involve all your stakeholders, and discuss all the different things that you want to be able to do with them. So you are not just prioritizing by yourself or figuring out by yourself. This cuts across everybody, even though, yes, at the end, because you are the product manager, right? So you are the one that is going to make the last decision. So summary would be short-term focus. So think about things around quick wins. What are the immediate user needs? How can you address their pain points? But also keep in mind long-term vision. So think about scalability, how to align with everybody in the entire organization, how you're building for future growth, and then use tools that you are comfortable with, things like prioritization frameworks. Yeah.
Okay, okay. All right. So thank you. Thank you. So speaking of prioritization frameworks, which do you think works best? Or which do you recommend? What framework do you recommend?
Continue.
Or is it relative to teams and products now? Did you get that?
Yeah, I got that.
Okay, so I was asking, what framework do you suggest for prioritization, or are frameworks relative to team development teams and stuff?
Yeah, it depends on your context, depends on what you're trying to
Okay.
achieve, it depends on the products that you're building, the team size, the organization goals. So there are different ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's RISE, for example. That's reach, impact, confidence, efforts, right? That one is best from a case of, oh, you want to balance efforts with the value that you are going to get, and especially when you have multiple stakeholders, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you use it when you are trying to compare backlog of features or initiatives, things for justifying decisions to stakeholders, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to decide, for example, whether to launch a subscription service, you can look at, oh, the reach, how many people would be affected, the impact, will it solve the pain points of the customer, confidence from a place of, okay, is this, am I trying to build this because I've gotten feedback from surveys or I did market research, and then effort in terms of how long will it take. So maybe 4 weeks of development, right? RISE can help you figure that out. If you're using ICE, which is like confidence and ease, that's majorly for quick prioritization when your time or resources are limited, right? There's also all the other kinds like value versus effort matrix, when
That's right.
to visualize how, when you're trying to visualize between like low hanging fruits and long term investments, right? So if you are trying to integrate a new payment provider, right,
Yeah.
it's something that you say, oh, okay, it's a big thing to achieve, but then like it's a high effort initiative. So how do you balance that, right, across all the other things that you already have ongoing? There's Moscow method, that's must have, should have, could have, won't have. So it really depends like on your situation at the time. But I would say if you wanted to make like quick decisions, you can use like ICE or Moscow, right?
Okay.
If you want to do like a detailed analysis, that's where RISE, or if you're doing like weighted scoring, that's where it comes in. If you're trying to if you're trying to if you're trying to communicate clearly to everybody involved, then value versus effort matrix comes in. There's other frameworks as well, but like those are like the 3 or 4 that I majorly like use depending on the situation. That's why I'm mentioning those 4.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I mean that gives insight to frameworks to adopt and at what time to uh use them.
Mm.
So thank you. All right, so we have another question here. Um, what's your approach to prioritizing features or initiatives that don't show immediate ROI but are essential for the long-term growth? Did you get that? So I think
Sorry,
these are
come again.
basically strategy questions. So it says, what's your approach to prioritizing features or initiatives that don't show immediate ROI but are essential for long-term growth. Did you get that now?
Yeah, I did. Um, hmm. Prioritizing features or trying to balance like short-term wins and still keeping track of like things that will help you with long-term investments is things that will, any product manager needs to know about, because they are like the foundation for sustainable growth, right? So you need to be able to tie the long term features to strategic goals. So if, for example, you are saying I want to build a feature that would enable users to consult doctors, right? But it's not providing an immediate revenue boost, right? But this feature is particularly essential for positioning the platform that you're building as a health tech solution. So in that case, like this feature is like for a long-term goal thing, but it's not something that you get money out of immediately. So those are the kind of things that I mean. You need to tie like long-term features to strategic goals. You also need to be able to understand and communicate the bigger picture. Use storytelling to be able to help your managers, your stakeholders to be able to see the long-term value of a particular initiative. So if, for example, the example I just gave doesn't directly drive revenue, but you know that it would help in gaining customers, it will help in other things that you need long term, that will help in increasing customer retention over time. You need to be able to communicate that clearly. You need to secure like your stakeholder buy-in. So basically, you need to involve stakeholders early, and then
Right.
use data, use case studies, anything that would help you like to strengthen your case, and then basically balancing the roadmap. So everything that we talked about for blending short-term wins and long-term investments, make sure that it's showing in your roadmap. So if, for example, at Move, we showed like short-term features that would improve user onboarding and make sure that it's delivered quickly, while resources that are allocated to like long-term initiatives like driver loyalty program will take months to develop, but they offer like retention benefits. Like people need to be able to see that, right? You need to again build for scalability. So you just need to like make sure everything is aligned, so that when you are trying to say, oh, I want to um choose which initiative to go with, but it doesn't show that, oh, we'll get something out of it immediately, but does it contribute to long-term growth? If yes, okay, I can proceed. If no, does it solve any other person's problem? Like you need to check all those different boxes so that you know if to go go further or not.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Okay. Thank you. So we have another one, a follow-up question to this one now, right?
Okay.
Uh, yeah. So this is saying, what KPI or metrics do you track to ensure strategy is on course? Right? What metrics or strategy? What KPIs or metrics do you track to ensure strategy is on course? Did you get that?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Mhm.
ideally, before you start, like what we are trying to do at since the year is just starting, is that you get KPIs from your line manager, right? And then you try to also cascade it to people that are reporting to you as well. So you need to review what that KPI is. Your KPIs most directly reflect your strategy's goals, right? So whether it's user acquisition, retention, each KPI should make sure that they tie into the product's overall mission, right?
Yeah.
So if the goal of your platform, for example, is to have like repeat user rates, then you need to make sure that you're tracking things around customer satisfaction and loyalty, right? You can choose a mix of like indicators, so whether leading or lagging, right? What I mean by that is, so something we are doing now, for example, at Cabin, is to say, okay, leading indicators are things like number of bookings or like number of vehicle inspection requests per agents, right? Versus lagging indicators like monthly revenue per dealer, right? So you need to choose, leading indicator being something that will help you predict future outcomes, versus lagging indicator, something that you use to measure outcomes after they occur, right? And then you need to measure across your entire product life cycle, like using your product journey. So what are my adoption metrics? What are my engagement metrics, my retention metrics, like everything on that scale, right? Try to figure out how best, if you don't know how to, depending on how big your team is, if you have a customer experience person, or maybe you know a little bit about customer experience, or just look into how you can figure out like the entire customer journey of the products that you're building, so that you can figure out like the metrics that you'll be tracking across the entire like journey, and then across the product journey as well, right? And then also figure out how your own KPIs would tie into like other business areas. So if, for example, I'm a I'm the VP of products, right? But there's also the customer experience sits within the operations team, because the organization is operations based. It's the company is operations based, right? So I need to be able to work with them to figure out that, okay, what are you guys doing from your perspective? What are we doing from us? How does it tie in together? Are we going to be tracking the same thing? What are those things that we need to be tracking together, right? So you just try to define KPIs across business areas. What are the customer metrics that you're tracking? What are the product metrics like daily active users, feature adoption rates? What are the revenue metrics that we are tracking as well, like revenue growth, right? Those different sort of things. Um, group your you can group your users into different like characteristics or actions, so that you are able to analyze their behavior over time, and then use like surveys, anything that you can get, feedback that you get from like interviews, or if you're tracking via um HubSpot and the rest, like things that will help you to be able to get insights, dashboard, right? So real-time monitoring. Those are the sort of examples, or sort of ways that you get to your specific examples. So user acquisition, what are your key metrics there? What are things important to you or important to the product that you're building? Conversion rates, organic signups, maybe it's user engagement, daily active users, the session length, the feature usage, if it's like retention, churn rates, people repeat rates, if it's like revenue, okay, what's the monthly recurring revenue, what's the average revenue per user, those sort of things. So whether you're to track whether your strategy is on course, you need to make sure that your KPI aligns with the strategic goals. Your monitoring metrics across your product life cycle. Combine all the areas in which you can get insights from, whether qualitative or quantitative. Being a product manager means that you're not necessarily a science person outrightly, or an arts person, right? You need to be able to combine methodologies and frameworks to be able to get as much information as possible. So you continuously iterate based on data.
Right, thank you. That was awesome. That was detailed and a lot, in fact. So thank
Sorry.
you. No, that was good. I'm sure for the people here, right, would so I have a follow-up question, but then before that comes in,
Mm.
So, for the new guys joining us, thank you for coming in. Thank you. So, welcome to the group mentorship session of People in Product, right? So, here we try to address questions in product management. If you're working as a PM and you have challenges, okay, this is where we address that. All right. So, and with us, we have Ogochukwu, VP of Product at Cabin Africa. Okay. So, if you have questions for us, leave a comment and we'll try to take your questions. All right. If you have questions, please leave a comment or raise your hand here. We'll call you up. Okay. So we have just to okay, let's take Damilola first. Damilola Yusuf, then before we come back to my question. Damilola, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good evening. Good evening.
That's
It
good.
has been
That's
an
good.
enlightening session. Thank you so much for putting up this platform so that we can learn better. My question is, I sent in my question. I don't know if it has been attended to, though I came in 12 minutes late. So I
Okay,
would
you
like
can
to
go on the
ask.
question.
Yes, I sent in my question.
Okay, no, go on. Ask
Okay,
the
no, go
question
on. Ask the
already.
question already. Okay. All right. So my question is, as a product designer, I'm a product designer, I'm not a product manager now. Now,
Okay.
how do you handle pressure and frustration from your team lead, the people you are working together with, the developers, the product managers? How do you manage frustrations and pressure from them? Because I've had instances whereby team lead will be on you. You are working on a project, you are not yet done, and then your seat is very hot. You are like, what's going on? Even the one you are doing, there are there are things you need to adjust and readjust, realign, and then you are not done with one, they are bringing in another one, and yet pressure is mounting up, frustration is coming in, and you are almost tempted to be rude. So how do you manage, that kind of situation?
Hi, Daniel. Thank you for your answer. You sound very pained. Um, are you working for a startup company or a small team?
What's true is that currently, um, although I will be starting an internship very soon, but
Mhm.
then I'm asking this ahead of time.
Okay.
I've not I've experienced it in another sector, in another
Yeah.
like in another job entirely. But now I want to project. So in case something like that comes up, how do I manage it?
Okay. Um, I mean, pressure is everywhere. That's why it's good to not add it in your CV that you can work under pressure. Um, so handling pressure and frustration is something that is very key, especially when you're working in a collaborative environment. And whether you're a product designer, whether you are a product manager, which I've gone through like both roles, you would need to you need to try as much as possible to manage your pressure. The number one thing that you need to do is communication. I know everybody will always preach communication, but really that's what works best, to be honest. From a product designer's point of view, even a product manager's point of view, right? Which basically anybody can apply to their daily lives as well. You need to approach communication from a place of understanding and not just because like you want to respond, right? It's easy for you to be a fast thinker to already think that, oh, you have the answer to this person's question, or to what this person is saying, or to what this person needs. But like, first take that 1 minute, 1 second, whatever amount of time you need to understand, right? Try to ask as much questions as possible. There's no dumb questions, especially when you're trying to build something that would help somebody else, right? If somebody is saying that, for example, oh, you need to push for faster results, try to explain your design process, but you also look at it from their perspective. That's what I was asking, like, is it a startup or a small team that you're working with, so that I would try to get it. Because if it's a startup, for example, you need to take into consideration that you cannot go through the entire design process. You cannot be practicing, oh, I want to do ideation, I want to do all the parts about ideation, I want to do all the kinds of user testing there is, heuristic testing, everything. Like, you cannot do all of that, right? You need to try as much as possible to just jump to the next thing that will help you. If you need to ideate, fine, ideate with everybody so that people are already aware the direction you are thinking in. You can obviously drive how the discussion goes, but do it collectively so that you are not wasting time doing it by yourself, right? Be honest about like what can be done realistically within the time constraints that they have set. Yes, they'll tell you, oh, you need to build Facebook in 2 months. You cannot build Facebook in 2 months. Even Facebook have not finished building, right? Just be realistic and say, oh, this is what we need to do, and try to be open as much as possible. If they are asking you to build Facebook, what is the alternative to building Facebook? Maybe just book or something, anything that they can use to achieve their goals, right? And that's why maybe you need to speak to everybody to understand their problem, understand where it's coming from. What do I need Facebook for? Or I need to be able to chat with my friends for. Okay, what if you are not able to chat with your friends or post whatever is on your mind immediately? Can I integrate this other software that already does this, right? Try to find alternatives so that within the time frame that you have, especially if you are not in a leadership position where you can maybe have influence on increasing the time, right? Try your best as possible to communicate what can be done, right? And also try to put other alternatives out there. You have to focus on being empathetic. Like, you're a product designer, you're a product manager, you need to host collaborative sessions as much as possible, or you need to be very active in reaching out to your team members so that anything around frustrations, they would tell you on time and you start thinking about how to handle it. Like this, everything here is about like team understanding and everybody being on the same page. Okay, what do we need to do in order to make somebody is complaining about your design? I'm not following what you mean. Okay, is it that you need a prototype? Is it that you need me to translate it into a video so you can watch it and you know how to implement better? Is it that we need to be doing design reviews that are live? Or like, what exactly do you need? Like, you need to come from a place of, oh, these people don't think like me. They are working with engineers, they are more straightforward, they are not like you that is a designer. It's, you need to understand like the trade-offs here that would help. Technical people are thinking, oh, how can I build this? And if it's not working out, I can figure it out. Okay, this is the person that is even giving me the work anyway, which means that this person must know. Yeah, a product manager, yes, you don't have to know HTML, but if you know, and some people here know, even designers, they know that if they design a flying button, nobody can actually build it. But you know that they can't build it. You know the capabilities of your team members. One, do Google search at the very least if you don't know how to code or something, and try to find a solution or similar solution that is out there, so that when you're pushing it forward to say, oh, this is what I need you to build, you will say, here's an example for you to review. That way it feels like you are on their side, right? And you manage expectations from everybody. Don't go and be under over promise and then you now under deliver, right? So try to finalize like user flows really quickly. If it's looking like they've told you to, again, to build a Facebook, try to break it down into smaller deliverables. What is the immediate thing that I need to solve for, right? And then try to understand problem from each person's perspective. Don't just think that, oh, because this person is the one that raised this up, all the front end engineers are also facing the same problem. Like, everybody understands things differently, right? So focus on the message rather than maybe how they are passing it as well. Don't try to, nothing gets solved from a heated discussion. And besides, they are your team members. If you're already fighting your team members, you can also be fighting stakeholders. So you need your team on your side as much as possible, right? And you don't have to like go on long stretches of trying to explain. If you see that people are not getting what you're saying, take a short break. Try to make them understand it from a human perspective, from a real life perspective. Oh, I need you to design this, but they're not getting it. Okay, you see how in real life you will go and throw tissue into the dustbin, or you just throw tissue into the gutter. I need it on my phone to be able to like dispose things that I don't want somewhere. That's how maybe you think about recycle bin. Like think about it from different perspectives as much as possible, right? Um, and if everything that I've said is not working, then escalate when necessary. Because if your team is still hounding you and you're not making any headway, then maybe you need somebody else to help you communicate properly. Maybe you can bring in your manager, maybe you can bring in HR, depending on how bad it is, or if you can reach like a head of product or VP or anybody in the higher ups that will be able to work to liaise between you and your team, right? At the end of each week or something, you could also do like a retro with everybody or even by yourself just to understand, oh, how did this week go for us?
Thank you, Moyo. That was really detailed. I wish I can. Okay, I think I can throw a graffiti for you. So yeah, so that's it. So yeah, that was really detailed. In fact, I might want to also add, right, just to, I think what has worked really is also trying to also going for what, also trying to go for the goals you want to achieve, right? Goals you want to see done, right? I think that has helped over time. So that way you're not overwhelmed with so many things that is going on, right? And you're also not giving into scripts and stuff. More like you're practically going, well, that's prioritization, really. You address that still here. So I think that's what works too, just to understand, set your goals right as a designer or PMs, then hit that goal you want to see, that goal you want to achieve, then like that, just take it away. So I think that's all for me. So thank you, Moyo. Jeremiah, I hope that helps. Sorry, Damilola, I hope that helps.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Very profound. It helps.
Thank you. So I want to have Esther go on. Esther, are you there? Good evening. So for those of you that are joining now, all right, welcome to group mentorship session of the people in product community. Okay, so here we answer questions regarding product management. Yes, anything around product management and stuff, right? So if you have questions, please leave a comment or react or raise your hand. We're gonna call you up. Okay. Thank you. So Esther, let's
Hi, good evening, everyone.
good evening.
Good evening, Moya. Thank you for this session. It's been quite impacting, honestly. So, my question goes like this: for someone who's just starting a career path in product management, right? For someone who was in investment banking and is moving into product management, and I must say it's been quite challenging to land an entry level role. So I don't know what's your advice, what you think I need to do, the skills I need to learn, maybe the certifications I need to get. So it's been very, very, very complex for me. So that's why I even decided to join this platform in the first place. So that's my question. Thank you.
Okay.
Did you get that?
Yeah, we got that.
Yes,
So,
yes.
All right.
Yeah. Hmm. Investment banking. That's quite a shift. I mean, it's not a one-on-one. It's not a one-on-one session, so I would ask why you went from investment banking to product management. I would start with saying I think you should know that with product management, which is kind of like general advice that I started with, it's like being a general manager at war, trying to lead people. And if you are coming in with zero knowledge of how to be a product manager because you haven't been part of a product team before, you need to be patient with yourself. That's like number one. It will take time. There's no breaking into tech without experience. You need to just stay persistent, and then you keep refining your skills and growing your network, right? Even me, self, I'm still growing my network. I'm still learning. There's no like breaking into product management fully. Every day is a new thing, right? But so you need to be patient. That's number one. But apart from that, think to yourself, and any job that you are going into, leverage on your skills, your transferable skills. You may see it as two separate things entirely, investment banking to product management, but no, you have transferable skills there. I'm sure you do things around data analysis. You are able to interpret financial data, right? If you're able to do that, it's something that you need in product management, because you need it to be able to inform product decisions that you're making. You need it to be able to track KPIs, right? It's investment banking, means you deal with lots of people. So stakeholder management, you have experience working with clients, executives. You will need that same experience when you're collaborating with engineers and designers, right? I mean, like, investment is even complicated on its own, which means if you think about it, it's kind of like the way product management is. There's a lot of strategies. So you already kind of like have some particular skills that you can also use as a product manager, right? You need to build on the fundamentals, the foundations of product management. Learn the basics as much as possible. What are the things that I need to do? Understand the different frameworks, like I was saying earlier. Understand like certain methodologies. Learn about like Agile, Scrum, Kanban, all of those things, right? Try to do certifications. I think somebody was asking about certifications, but you can try to do certifications, enroll in courses that are available. You can find free ones on Coursera. There are some that I think people in products have partnered with. I see Princess posting it all the time, where you can go and take like courses and so on. There's product school as well, right? At the very least, and there's a lot of other like places where you can do certifications from that are free. I can't start listing all of them here, but try to gain like the foundations of product management, and then try to gain experience on this side while you are still trying to, get the skills that you need as a full product manager by yourself. You can just go. The reason my phone is full is not because of like pictures or anything. It's just because like sometimes I just sit down and go on Google Play Store or iOS to check App Store to check for some particular apps and see how they work. And then I start thinking from there, how can I improve this? I don't really like how they're asking me many questions just to sign up. Like, it can be the littlest thing, right? It can be your mom asking you, how do I update WhatsApp? She's your first customer. Start teaching her how to update WhatsApp easily. That's you being a product manager already, right? I mean, there's like there was somebody that, I know this is like more professional, but there was somebody that posted on Instagram how she tracks all the dates that she goes on with Google Sheets, and there's literally columns for was the person responsible, was this, so that she can use it to create a dashboard about how to. It might be useful for a dating site at the end of the day. Like, you don't know where these skills will come in from, right? There's a lot of people on this call. I don't know a lot of them, but you have people like Best, you have people like Princess, my ogas at the top that you can, intern or shadow with, or meet them and ask them questions from time to time to understand. You can just meet anybody and say, what does your day-to-day look like, right? Even if you don't spend a lot of time with the person, understand how people are working, right? you have people in product community. People ask a lot of questions on that community like every day, even if you're not building anything yet, to give you ideas about, oh, okay, this is how I can do this thing when I eventually get to it, right? There's also like the what I built channel or something like that, where people say, oh, go and test this out. You can try all those different things, right? Apart from people in products, there's other communities that you can engage with as well. Mind the products. You can listen to podcasts. Anywhere at all you can find information as much as possible. Try to connect with much more experienced PMs, but when you're connecting, it has to be strategic, right? You're not just going to go and like hound people, oh, I want to learn from you or teach me this, or just be messaging them like every day. Maybe if they post something or if you see something, you can go and ask them a question about it, and you can just start learning, right? You can position yourself as well strategically, given that you're coming from an investment background. You would be most likely immediately useful or attractive to fintech companies or like related kind of industries. So you can start out being a product manager from there, and then working your way around if you want to change sectors. Since you already understand investment space, right, you can start out your journey from your company or from any other like investment or banking um, company as well. You can, as you do those things, then you can build up on a portfolio at the end of the day, right?
Okay, thank you, Mario. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much.
Esther, I hope that helped. Yeah.
Yes, it was very helpful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I see comments about people asking how to break into product management or break into the industry. I think she has answered that, but just to point out, okay, one of the ways to do that, like she said, is to join communities, right? Another one would be after you're learning, okay, is to volunteer, right? There's something volunteering experience does for you. It gives you practical hands-on experience. Right, it doesn't have to be paid. There are people building constantly, so you get them and shadow them, work with them. That way you learn, right? Or from your organization, you can make that switch and transition into product, right? That is after you've gained a hands-on experience or you understand the nitty-gritties of product, right? Like setting up roadmap, managing backlogs, right? And yeah, working with stakeholders, your team members, and all of that. She's mentioned that already. So I am only saying this so we don't have to go back to all of those questions. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna move on. So this is for those that are
Sorry,
asking how to get
best.
into.
I
Yeah.
think you can also like start in a non-technical role, because I see that sometimes that may be the mistake that some people make, thinking that they need to be product managers. You don't necessarily need to be a product manager right off the bat. You can start in customer support or product
Yeah.
operations, something within a tech company that will then lead you and give you all the experience you need, and then you can even then decide from there, or I want to actually be a product manager, or instead I want to be customer success, right?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So if you are a product ops person, you can break in fully. All right. So and again, I think we have a program for newbies in product. Myself and Toby discussed something around that. I don't know. So yeah, another thing to do is if you want to learn products, Princess is our boss. She's so good at it. She makes posts on LinkedIn, so you can follow her there and learn. Also follow Moyo as well, right, on LinkedIn as well. Okay, these are senior PMs, senior PMs. When I say senior PMs, I mean 3-level senior PMs. It's not a joke. Okay. So yeah, follow them. All right, thank you,
Please
Moyo.
follow
So
Princess. Consistent.
okay, so we have a okay. Olua Kemi, should we take so let's make this really quick. We have 8 more minutes. Sorry, 9 minutes out. Okay, so we're gonna take Olua Kemi's question, then the one I just posted in the comments, then we'll call it a night. Okay, Kemi, what's up? Hi. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Elizabeth. Thank you for having us. So I want to ask this question on behalf of my friend. She messaged me yesterday. I did chat before, but let me just ask here. So she's currently a marketer in the banking industry. Yeah, with one of the top two banks. But she wants to join Exia Africa February court class. And she's thinking, she saw some rules on product marketing manager. So she asked if she could merge her experience in marketing with product management to does that apply for product marketing managers, or it's an entire course on its own?
Moyo.
Okay. Yes, she can, because within a marketing department, depending on the organization, right? You have product marketing, you have content marketing, creative marketing, and so on. I mean, like, she's already in the space that she needs to be a product marketing manager. Like, everything that you need to do is she's already doing it as a marketing person within the bank, right? I mean, she should already be doing things around like customer segmentation, understanding like the different customer groups. She should be doing things around campaign management. Say bank, that means they have to like design marketing campaigns to launch and promote all the GTB, this GTB creates, GTB that. If she's working at GTB, I'm just using that as an example. They do a lot of like market research, right? So there's highly transferable skills, first of all. For product marketing, particularly, she will just need to understand how to use the things that she already knows to create go-to-market strategies from a product perspective. So things around acquisition, activation, retention, revenue, referral, all those things, value propositions, right? So if she's taking the course on product marketing, she's already on the right track, right? And she just needs to leverage on her banking industry experience, especially if she's going to go ahead into like financial services or banking industries, right? There's a lot that she would already know as a marketing person that she's bringing into being a pro marketer. She just needs to channel the product side, and that's it. Like, she's on the right track to it. And then just tell her to tailor her resume currently, all the things that she's doing in marketing, but to tailor it from a product perspective so that it aligns when she's applying for jobs. So instead of just saying, I led marketing at the bank, she'll say, I led marketing campaigns for this particular product in the bank, which increased customer adoption, blah 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 blah. That sort of thing. If you understand what I'm saying, and then she should. I think the best thing was just to start off, like I was telling Esther, start off with like related industries, fintechs, and the rest. For products, merging marketing and products, you need to focus on storytelling. So she needs to, similar to like when you are applying to interviews, she would need to know and use the STAR method as best as possible, because you will need that when you are designing campaigns and giving people like customer insights, right? So again, she should be patient on herself, but she already is on the right path if she's just moving from marketing to product marketing.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Kemi, I suppose that answered your question, yeah?
Yes, it does. Thank you. And she works with GTB. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. So Moyo is not just a VP, she's also a prophet.
The prophetess.
Yeah, like that. So okay, so one of these days would like to have would have Princess be our guest here. So give it up for Princess in advance. And so yeah, before we take our last question of the night. Thank you, Moyo. Thank you, every other person. Okay, so question says, how do you approach competitive analysis and ensure your product remains differentiated in the market? How do you approach competitive analysis? Wow. And ensure your product remains differentiated in the market. Let's go.
Okay. I think you start by handling the first part of the question, how to approach competitive analysis, that should guide the rest of the things that you want to do, which means that your number one thing that you are doing is to even understand your competitors, right? You need to know who your competitors are, define what that looks like. So, who are your direct competitors? Who are direct competitors, meaning those that are offering like similar products or services and to the same target audience, right? Who are the indirect competitors? Maybe other people that are offering alternatives, but that are trying to solve the same problem, but in a different way, right? So if you are trying to work on a digital health product, for example, your direct competitors are other health platforms, right? But your indirect competitors will be people that are building things like fitness apps or traditional healthcare providers, right? So when you understand that, then you can now like try to do try to gather insights about the competitors. You need to do like a product analysis, try to review your competitors products. You are trying to build a GT Bank app. Have you looked at Sterling Bank? Have you looked at all the other apps that are there? And if you are looking at indirect competitors as well, have you looked at Apple Pay and all those other ones? Like, review your competitors products, their features, their user interface, their pricing models, everything about them, right? If you can do customer feedback, try to analyze the online reviews they are getting, or sometimes you don't even have to like create your own survey. You can just go on Twitter, for example, and see how people are complaining about GTB versus how people are complaining about Stanbic. That can be even where you get your customer feedback from, and see how to improve your product or how to build your products, right? And then you can as well do your own proper market research, use industry news, use blogs that are tracking what people are building, right? To see if they align with what you are trying to do, whether in Nigeria, anywhere it is. Once you've been able to do that, then you can now identify the areas where your products needs to stand out. And that's where you ask yourself, what is your unique value proposition? What makes your own product better, or what makes it different for your target audience? If you are building a mental health app, for example, your differentiation might be offering affordable therapy options, and you may focus on accessibility in places like Nigeria. But if it's not Nigeria, obviously that's why you should have done like all the analysis to factor in, okay, where do we need to build this for, and so on. In terms of innovation, you're thinking around things like, oh, let me integrate VR because maybe other people are not doing that. So, and you know that VR will definitely help your target audience, right? Or maybe it can be things around customer experience. Instead of me asking people to go from here to here just before they speak to somebody, how about if I just put this form here and it's direct, or I just put live chat? Like how you think about these different things matter. Branding and messaging is also part of this, like how you build your brand story that would resonate with your audience. If you are trying to launch a product that is for what's it called, like for mental health, for example, I wouldn't use a let's say any, for example, if people are familiar with any, like the influencer that's always like shows him eating different kinds of food, right? I may use like a Kate Henshaw, something like that, because you know that she's all about fitness, she's all about those kind of things, right? You need to think about like the people that will help you and promote your products. And then monitor your competitors regularly. Okay, how are they launching like new features? How are they making product changes? What's going on social media? How are people reacting to these products? What's happening with their pricing? Or Netflix has increased from 4K to 7K. How does this affect people that are still on Netflix? And how would that affect what I'm building as well? Does that mean that they would not be welcome to the 7K that I'm about to charge? Or they'll be really happy to jump on my products because I'm going to be charging 2K less, those sort of things. You can gather as much insights from multiple departments as much as possible to help with your competitive analysis. For obviously, as a product team, you get feedback on the feature gaps or the strengths from your engineering and design teams. If you are working with the marketing team, you need to understand how people are positioning messaging and how they are placing themselves outside. If you are working with the sales team, sales will be able to give you insights into how your competitors are selling, what people are even looking for in the first place, right? So once you understand everything, that's when you now start to develop your strategy to clearly explain how your product will remain like different in the market. So ensure that your product roadmap includes like features that will keep you ahead of your competitors. Make sure that you are focused on solving your customers' pain points. If possible, target like niche markets where you know that your products can offer like unique value, right? And it will now stand out. And then obviously you'll be testing and iterating, right? So make sure that you're conducting user testing or pilot programs to be able to help to be able to understand how people see the different parts of your product. You can do A/B testing, test different messages, test different features, test different pricing models. You can test anything as long as it's related to your product, right? So I think that answers the question.
All right, thank you so much for that. Oh my- Apologies for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that detailed explanation. Okay, so with that, we've come to the end of today's group mentorship session. All right, and if you're just joining again, this is people in product community. Okay, during in this program, we try to answer questions relating to product management and development and all of that. Okay, and today our guest for today was Ogochukwu Moyo. She's the VP of product at Cabin Africa. So once again, let's give it up for her. Thank you so much, Moyo, for coming in. So here at PIP, we have a couple of other programs. So this is the group mentorship session you just witnessed, right? We also have the weekly webinars and webinars, the interview prep session that holds on Tuesdays as well. Webinars are on Thursdays, and the weekly check-in calls on Saturdays. Okay, bi-weekly now. All right. So if you're in our Slack channel, you get all this information on all. Okay. Try to also join all of the programs when you get the chance, um so you learn more about products and try to also learn how to ace your interviews as well. Okay, thank you so much for coming in. So our next GMS is going to be in February, 2 weeks time from today. I hope to see you here once again. Thank you guys, and have a good evening. Thank you, Moyo. Have a good evening as well.
Thanks, guys.